We're just going to get started on our backs, lying down. And I really like to do knees bent, feet flat to start, simply because it's a great way to support the low back. You can even lift the hips, tuck the tailbone, place them back down. Feel free to move your knees side to side or just wiggle around a little bit until you find a really comfortable place for you and your body today. Lifting the toes, spread them wide, relax them down, maybe the head side to side. Good. And then just noticing how it feels to be in your body today and what's been going on for you lately. Moving from a place of really being in it to a place of being able to observe a little bit more, move into curiosity and away from judgment of ourselves, our bodies, our thoughts, our experiences. Just starting to take some nice full deep exhales out through the mouth. Feeling the forehead broaden, the space between the eyebrows soften, the jaw and tongue release. Awesome. And then just taking a moment to bring to mind something that you're really proud of yourself for, something that you want to slow down and appreciate about your efforts, maybe something that you worked really, really hard to get to, or even something that comes really naturally and easily to you, but still taking the time to slow down and saying thank you to yourself, your body, finding that appreciation. I find we often really crave that from external sources, and it can be really nice to say, hey, I really need to hear this right now. But in the same regard, for longevity and sustainability, we also really need to be able to tell these things to ourselves. So let's just take the next 5 or 10 deep breaths. You're really breathing in deeply to the belly, feeling the belly expand and release, pulling energy from the mind down into the body, and bringing some awareness to what we feel thankful for today, where we want to appreciate our efforts, everything that brought us here up to this point. Feeling yourself grow a little heavier onto your mats. And then let's all sigh, take a couple deep sighs together. So inhale deeply. Open the mouth, sigh it out. One more. And then one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, setting any other intentions that you have. Maybe just asking, how am I most craving feeling right here, right now? Embracing that, stating it as if already true. So maybe it's, I feel completely well rested. I feel nourished and relaxed. What do you want to feel? Welcoming that in through our breath, through our movement, through this practice of yoga. And then we'll rub our hands together, sealing in our good intentions. Take a full deep inhale breath. Place the hands over the eyes, exhale. Letting go of the whole outside world here, everyone else's ideas, opinions, beliefs, and enjoying this time to tune inward, living from inside out instead of outside in. Using the fingertips to massage the forehead, temples, jaw, scalp. Continuing to breathe deeply into the belly, ribs and chest, and then releasing. Let's bring the arms above head, interlace the fingers, press the palms away from you. You can move a little side to side. And then press the palms towards the back of the mat, shoulders up by the ears. And then bring the shoulders down away from the ears and the hands towards the knees. So just do a few of those without thinking too much. Just bringing the hands up overhead and then towards the knees. And then switch the grasp of the hands to the opposite pinkies on the outside and do a couple more of these. Arms above head and then towards the knees. Good. From here, we'll bring the hands down by the sides, walk those hands towards the heels and the shoulders away from the ears. Good. Press into the heels and we'll lift the hips up. Again, you can walk those shoulder blades even closer together. Sometimes it feels nice to bend the elbows so that the fingertips face the ceiling and then really press into the elbows, press into the heels. Imagine you're squeezing a block between your knees a little bit here. Feel some space through the neck. So we want to make sure that the weight's more in the shoulders and the feet than in the head. Good. Take 2 more breaths here. Nice, long, low back. Opening through the hips a bit as well. And then we'll lower the hips back down. Let's cross the right ankle over the left knee. You choose how far that grounded foot is away from the hips. Maybe you bring it closer to the hips, maybe further away. Let the knee fall away from the chest, this elevated leg. Take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, you can let the low body fall towards the left and back up. So you decide how far down you want to go. Maybe it's a little, maybe it's a lot. You can continue to move in and out of this, or maybe bringing your low body onto a pillow or a block or the ground. We'll take 3 to 4 more breaths here in stillness with the pose or movement, focusing on the breathing. Relaxing through the jaw and shoulders. Don't let any tension you're releasing from the hips creep upward. Release it through your breath, through your relaxation of the other parts of the body as well. 1 more breath here. Rise back up. Bring your feet mat width apart, so a little bit wider than before. And just let one knee fall in towards the center while the other knee stays upright. And then switch. So other knee goes in. If you have knee sensitivity, flex the feet. A couple more here. Just really getting some mobility in the hips, in the pelvis. Good. We'll find that bridge pose again. So walk the feet back to hip width apart, hands by the sides, shoulders down away from the ears. Inhale. And then exhale, press to the heels, lift the hips. Good. 3 to 5 deep breaths here. You could interlace the fingers and press the arms into the mat as you press the knees away from you. One more breath here. Good. Releasing the hips back down, crossing that left ankle over the right knee. Take a moment to just let that knee fall away from the chest, relaxing the shoulders. And then starting to move the low body to the right and back up, trying to find your sweet spot. And it might be different from the other side. And then again, the option to continue moving in and out of this, or finding that sweet spot and staying there. If it feels good to lower the legs onto a block, pillow, or the ground, that's an option. Again, broaden the space between the eyebrows, breathing deeply. One or two more full deep breaths here. Totally surrender into being in this pose. As much relaxation and openness as you can find. Come back up, bringing the knees to the chest, place the hands on the kneecaps, and then do some circles with the knees, massaging that sacrum area. Good. And then we'll bring the arms out to a T. Let the knees fall over to the left. You can keep the arms at a T, or if you want to bring that left hand onto the top thigh, that's an option. 3 deep breaths here. We'll rise on up and bring the knees over to the other side. Feeling that chest open, try to lower the left shoulder towards the mat. Breathing up and down the spine. And then bringing the knees back up through center. And the arms to a T, palms face down. We're going to inhale, bring the knees over to the left, keeping that right shoulder grounded. Use your exhale and your core, pull back up through center. Inhale, knees over to the right. Exhale, back through center. So you decide, you can bring your knees really up towards the chest or over the hips more. Trying to make sure that when you come through center, that low back is flat and that the knees are hugging towards each other. This is really good for the core, getting some twisting, getting some strengthening, opening the chest. Let's do a couple more here. Always go at your pace versus the pace your teacher's setting. Let your breath dictate. Your breath is your primary guide. Your teacher is your secondary guide. I don't know if all teachers feel that way, but I definitely do. Good. Coming back through center, we're going to bring our hands to our shins. Awesome. And then we're going to extend arms and legs at the same time. Let's start by bringing the legs more upright. So extend the legs up and out just a little bit so that that low back stays flat and arms above head, palms facing each other. Inhale. And then exhale, knees to the chest. Inhale, extend, lengthen. Exhale, knees to chest. So you choose how far out your legs come, maybe at a 45-degree angle, maybe parallel to the ground. Okay. Let's do about 5 more here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, back. You can have pointed feet. You can do flexed feet, but just some energy in those feet. Hugging the thighs towards each other. Good. Last one after this. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knees in. Good. And from here, we're going to grab behind the knees. So you can either roll to the side and come up or rock up and down and come up. Good. Massaging the spine if you're rocking up and down. Good. And then we'll cross over the ankles and come onto all fours. And then we're going to find a downward dog here. So spreading those fingers nice and wide, bend the elbows, hug them towards each other, straighten the arms without locking. Tuck all 10 toes, inhale. And then exhale, engage your core like your belly button's lifting you up towards the ceiling. Pull the hip creases up, bend through the knees, lower through the chest. You can bend and straighten the legs here. Lift one heel, then the other. Try to plug those shoulders down the spine so you can shake out your head a little bit. And then from here, you can either step the right foot forward or lift it up. And then step it forward. Good. Left hand to the ground or the mat. Lift the right arm. Press into that front big toe. Lift the back heel. Option here to drop the knee if you want. Good. But just pressing into the places you're touching the mat. Inhale, lengthening the spine. And then exhale, pull the right hip back. Engage through the core, open wrist to wrist. 2 more breaths. Good. We'll bring that hand down, lower the knee to the mat. Lower, release the tuck of the back foot. Good. And then from here, we're going to rise up into a low lunge. Good. Can readjust my camera. Good. So if you need to double up your mat or anything to have more support under the knee, feel free to. Good. And we'll just start by lifting the arms. And you can let the hips come as far forward as feels good. Press into the back shin, press into the front foot. Inhale, and then exhale, cactus. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. 2 more. Inhale, lift. Maybe you lift the gaze. Exhale, cactus. Good. And then inhale, lift the arms. And exhale, bring your hands to your thigh. And we're going to try to make 90-degree angles with the knees now, instead of letting those hips come forward. And then once you have that 90-degree, tuck the tailbone. Round the spine like a cat. Good. You should feel this a lot in your left sort of quad and hip flexor area. Good. So relax the jaw and tongue. Breathe into it. If you can't breathe into it, back out of it and then come back into it. Because if you're holding the breath, we're not making any progress in terms of releasing what's stuck in our body. Whew, I feel that. Good. Last breath here. Relax the shoulders. Good. Then inhale, lift the arms, lift the torso, and exhale, we'll pull the hips back. You can shift that front heel forward a little bit, circle out the ankle. Good. From here, we're going to come forward and then walk our foot to the outer edge of our hands. So it's outside of the hands. Good. And then you can lift the big toe. So your big toe's lifted, you're on your pinky toe edge of your foot, and then you can come forward and back or stay forward. If you want to come onto forearms, you can come onto forearms. 3 deep breaths here. And we're going to take this straight into a pigeon pose. So walking that foot over, bringing your knee towards your wrist. Good. So people ask a lot like, oh, where should this front heel be? It doesn't matter. The goal here is level hips. So bring your knee out to the side more than you might think. Shoot your back leg back and then relax down onto forearms or a pillow. If you can, drop the head. Maybe massage your neck. I've been really loving doing a pat on the back lately. And I know it seems sort of silly, but it actually feels better than you could imagine to do that for yourself. And my daughter came and gave me a pat on the back the other day. And I realized why it feels so good, because it brings us back to feeling like, you know, a baby and our mom's taking care of us. We're nourished, we're supported. So giving yourself that pat on the back here. 3 more breaths. How lovely you are. You have the perfect body for you in this lifetime, in this moment. Good. Come back up onto the hands and then bring that leg out to the side. So it'll be parallel to your mat and look like this. Inhale forward, exhale back. Good, and then come through all 4s. We'll do a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhale to lift the tailbone, broaden the sits bones, lift the gaze. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, sits bones towards each other, drop the head. 3 more. And move around side to side, front to back. We tend to mobilize in the spine where we already have mobility, which can often be this one spot. But when we move around in our cat-cow, we get to mobilize a little bit more than what's our habit. Last one. So we'll find a downward dog here again, if that's available to you today. Bend the elbows, straighten the arms without locking, tuck all 10 toes, inhale, and then exhale, engage your core, lift the hips, press them back, bend the knees as much as you need here. Drop the head, shake it out. 2 deep breaths. Getting that head below the heart has so many benefits. Resets the nervous system, resets our mentality, our attitude, our perspectives. Inhale, option to lift that left leg. And then exhale, step it forward, keeping the knee lifted to start as an option. Right hand to the ground, left arm lifts. Good. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, pull that left hip back, open from wrist to wrist. Last deep breath here. We'll bring the hand down, the knee down, rise up into our low lunge. Good. So this time we'll let the hips come forward a little bit first to start, as much as feels good. Press into that back shin, press into the front heel, lift the arms, inhale. Exhale, cactus. Good. Inhale, lift. Exhale, cactus arms. Feel the ribs hug in, the chest open. 1 more. Good. And then inhale, lift the arms, bring the hands to the thigh. We'll pull the hips back, making that 90-degree angle with the knees. Good. And then tuck your tailbone. Maybe already you feel that in the hip flexor and the thigh. Maybe keeping that tuck of the tailbone, you allow the hips to come, or the pelvis to come 15% more forward. Whew. And then you can bring the hands to the thigh and round like cat. Good. Breathe into the back of the neck. Relax the face, breathe into sensation. Our yoga practice teaches us that if we can remain calm amidst sensation or intensity, then we can carry that on the mat to off the mat and respond more, keeping in a relaxed nervous system instead of reacting all the time and going into fight or flight. So breathe into that hip flexor, one last breath. Good. Lift the arms, lift the torso, inhale. Exhale, pull the hips back, slide that front heel forward. You can circle out the ankle. 2 more breaths here. Good. And then we're going to come forward, bringing the foot to the pinky toe side of the hand. So both hands are inside of the foot. Awesome. And then lift the big toe. So you can stay forward, you can move forward and back. Good. Again, if you want to come onto the forearms, if that's an option for you today, you can do that as well. But if it's not, then it's not, you're not alone. For most people, that's not. And then we're going to sit up for our pigeon pose. So walking that foot now to the other edge of the mat, knee towards the wrist. Good. Going towards level hips, shoot that back foot back, and then lower down onto forearms or a pillow. Try to find a way to really relax the head. Inhale, I know I'm breathing in. Exhale, I know I'm breathing out. Last full deep inhale, exhale, hear all the breath out, every last drop. Coming back up onto the hands, and from all fours, we'll step that foot out to the side, parallel to your mat, and just move forward and back a couple times. Good. Come through all fours and make your way onto your belly. We'll start with a cobra pose, hands by the sides, big toes touch, tops of the feet on the mat. Lift the knees, hug the thighs towards each other, lift up chin and chest. Hug those elbows in, slide the hands towards the back of the mat. Good. One more breath here. And then forehead to the mat, relax the arms, shake out the hips. Bring the feet to mat or hip width apart. And now we'll lift up and we'll come onto tented fingers. So you're gonna come onto fingertips, press into the feet so much that the knees lift, and then lift up chin and chest. And as you exhale, look over to the right, the left shoulder comes forward. Coming through center, squeeze those shoulder blades together, go over to the other side. It's one of my favorite chest openers. For all the people that you hold up, all the things that you hold up, your household, your life, let this be your chance to just release that for a moment. Your low back should feel good here, so make sure you're coming up the right amount for you, and you're also still pressing into the tops of the feet and engaging through the low body to lift. Last round. Good. Come through center, forehead to the mat, arms relaxed, shake it out. Take a deep sigh here, just feel held. And we're going to find a child's pose next, bringing the hips over the heels. Knees can be as close together or far apart as feels good, but ideally the chest is coming onto the mat or a pillow. I'm starting to let go of our more active practice. So if you were like engaging through the core a lot and really deeper breathing, coming back to the softer belly breath. Feeling your heart anchor down. If you see me lifting my head, that's just so I can talk. So keep yours relaxed, grounded. Child's pose is an amazing pose for surrendering to our intentions, letting go a little bit of the effort that it takes to get there, moving into more ease. And it's also a really wonderful pose of surrendering to our gratitude, the things you feel thankful for, the blessings in your life, this body, this breath, this practice. Just let yourself go. Good. From here, we're going to come back up and make our way onto our backs. I really like to grab behind the thighs and roll down slowly. It often will pop my upper back. Yeah, good. And then once you're there, we'll bring our knees to our chest and we're going to flex everything, tense everything. If you're recently postpartum, it's not usually advised to lift the head and crunch just because your abs are trying to come back together. So you can keep the head down or up, leaving it up to you. We're not going to be here for long, but you're going to grab onto the shins, flex the feet, engage everything, flex the muscles of the face, take a full deep inhale breath. Feel yourself hug into this nice tight ball. Hold that inhale breath until you can no longer hold it. And when you're ready, holding it, flex everything a little tighter. And then open the mouth. Exhale, let everything hang long onto the mat. If you want to bring the knees wide and the feet together for a few moments, that can feel really supportive and nourishing to our systems. Or you could do knees bent, feet flat, how we started, or simply legs long. Breathing this beautiful, bright white healing light into the palms of the hands, the tips of the fingers, and back up. All the way down to the soles of the feet, tips of the toes, and back up. This cleansing, healing energy into the floor of the pelvis and up to the top of the head. Breathing this wonderful bright white light throughout the entire left side of the body and the right side, the top side of the body and the back side. The whole body breathing in this beautiful healing light. The whole body breathing it out. Feel yourself relax into the floor, surrendering into the earth beneath you as it rises up to meet you and hold you. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Once more, bringing one hand to the heart and one hand to the belly. Just telling yourself, thank you, thank you, thank you. Can bring the arms above head, come back to your body, your breath, and this day. Good. Thank you so much for joining me today and for our sponsors, Greater Gallatin United Way and Roots Family Collaborative. I hope you enjoyed a nice pause today. Namaste.